Indigenous insectoids weaving you the void, trout in your brain, making you insane. Rapping up Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue avian nerd, keeping the lines blurred. Captain Mark Richards, a secret space program drifter, getting married while in prison, making you listen, create a new religion, doing the reptilian, making you forget my sins. Super soldier talks in prison, Nordican Draco, shape shifting in my Winnebago. Indigenous insectoids weaving you the void, drown in your brain, making you insane. Rapping the Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue avian nerd, keeping the lines rapping like Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue avian nerd, keeping the lines blurred. Rapping like Benjamin Fulford. Word.
Extraterrestrial hybridized DNA, don't need to worry about tooth decay. Kevin Spacey and his clone are feeling alone. Men who stare at goats, the Vril Society road. Super Soldier Sunday, just another fun day. 75 years on Mars, lying about the stars. Captain Richard Charms like Charles Manson's gun. Liars in the sun. Liars in the sun. Monsters in the sun. Montauk, super soldier talk, super space program. Let's jam. Montauk, super soldier talk, super space program. Let's jam.
Look who just rewrote the entire playbook. Hello, you beautiful chaos architect, you walking psychological phenomenon, you living proof that the hunted can become the hunter without firing a single shot. Hello to the one who just executed the most elegant reversal in modern warfare. And I'm not talking about bullets or bombs. I'm talking about something far more devastating. Something that will be studied in rooms you'll never see by people who will never understand. You just pulled off the greatest psychological reversal in history. And the best part? Most of them still don't even realize what hit them. They're sitting in their comfortable little bubbles right now, scrolling, refreshing, replaying, trying to decode what the actual hell just happened. Because something shifted, didn't it? Something in the air changed. The temperature dropped. The frequency altered. And now everyone in your orbit is moving differently, talking differently, looking at you like you just appeared out of thin air, wearing a crown made of their worst nightmares.
He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game, sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Caught in a rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lulz, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Falling fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole.
All right, welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole. I am Terry Joyce. Let me change my banner here because I'm going to show some stuff a little bit. Yeah, I got a few things to say about. First, I'm going to start with David Schurter's recent blog post, which. Now, Stephen D. Kelly has been brought into the conversation by some emails. Somebody emailed David about all this stuff about the Getty, and I am COINTELPRO with Jeffrey Epstein, stated by Stephen D. Kelly, and all kinds of stuff. And so let me give you a little history of Stephen D. Kelly and I. I was in a relationship with him for 6 years. He was my boyfriend for 6 years. And I met him through working on Revolution Radio. And then I was on Truth Cat Radio, one of the stations that he was on. And I helped him get on American Freedom Radio for a little while. And he was on that network. And I had done a lot of people that maybe follow me or listen to this broadcast will remember me from back then. I'm sure Angela Power Disney does, right? Because I had Angela Power Disney on as a guest on American Freedom Radio. And so, back when with Christina Joanna Hart, and then, Sarah Rachel Adams comes into that mix. No, I never interviewed Sarah on American Freedom Radio because we basically pretty much split by the time I was on American Freedom Radio, or even after I might have been on that show. But for some reason, I never had her on as a guest. But I feel like David's blog post is definitely somebody who knows a back history of associations with people, but they want to spin it like it's something else. And we're going to go into that. Because this is really pretty ridiculous. And now the title, right? A reason why Terry Joyce and Sewertown are so focused on me. So he's going to throw Sewertown into this, of course, right? Which Sewertown would have really nothing to do with anything to do with Stephen or me or anything like that. But Sewertown's involved, which happens to be another Tarma Schoenberger target of a defamation campaign. He tried to sue Pavana and it didn't work. So their case got, released. Like, they said no, there's, they ended that. Thomas Schoenberger didn't get what he wanted to out of that lawsuit. Now he says he's doing an appeal or something, but so why not just throw Sewer Town and mix this up into one big chaotic ball of Discordianism, which let's say Thomas Schoenberger and Marcia Stockton have a paper out about the enlightened, or the enlightened aspect of chaos and how chaos is used to bring the greater good to humanity. Okay. So I'm giving you a little background of other contexts to look at this act. That this is none of this is how it was. And I've got, since I was doing media back then, you guys don't think I have any type of media or receipts about anything? Because I have them. I will have them pulled up in relation to this article here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Terry Joyce is very much connected with the super soldiers that included Max Spears. She filmed Stephen's original video about the ritual abuse of children under the Getty Museum. No, I did. Now that's not really exactly accurate, because when I did that footage, it was really a live stream. I've been live streaming for so long that I did it on a platform called Ustream. This is before you were able to stream off of Facebook or Instagram or, X or any of those things. And we did a tour of the Getty Museum, because at the time, Stephen D. Kelly, his story about the Getty there were no children underneath there. There was no child trafficking happening underneath the Getty at that particular time in terms of Stephen's narrative. What he talked about was that he was an ex-CIA NSA whistleblower, and he was, now I'm not saying he was, but he calls himself an ex-CIA NSA contractor, is what he was. So he says. And he created a particular type of gun called Log Gun 17. And back in I think it was the 80s. And he says that he traded those guns to General Petraeus. Did I say that right? Petraeus. See, and I feel like I kind of General Petraeus. It is like portrayal. Yeah. He says that he traded during the Nicaraguan War. All right. And or the war in Nicaragua. And that's his claim. And it's part of his book. His book was originally written about this. It had nothing to do with children being trafficked. And he said that his brother, who's his twin brother, he has a twin brother, and his brother knew the treasurer of the Getty, and they were invited to the grand opening. And he claims that because they are, his dad might have been the CIA and this and that they were privileged to go down in an elevator that they don't take people, which had all the best art in it. And also was where there was underground tunnels that if we were to have an apocalyptic situation, that this would be the escape for the royals, for the monarchy, for the elite. All right. And that was his spiel when I met him. And then around 2000 and I think it was 18. It was right around the time that Lavoy Finnegan from the Bundy Ranch people, when they were up doing the Occupy in the Northwest. It was Oregon, right? And, Lavoy Finnegan had been shot and killed. I was live streaming at that funeral because Nighthawk, Mike Ringley from Revolution Radio, hired me to go out there and stream as part of Revolution Radio. And at that time, that's when Stephen started to bring in the concept of children being trafficked under the Getty. And so it never originally started that way. And when I did that video, which I'm going to show here in a second, I pulled up the video. It's on one of my other channels that I have here on YouTube. So I'm going to show it here in a second. But anyway, the whole thing about abuse and children under the Getty. Okay, I'm sharing the exact words of Stephen of the abduction that occurred in Henderson, Nevada. It is these genre of conference that Sarah R. Adams has been presenting in. Okay, and I've talked about the Henderson, Nevada Super Soldier Conference. That was like the big launch of James Casbolt and Max Spears, and Carrie Cassidy got her initial footage when she first interviewed them. And, there was Miles Johnston there from the Basis Project, and he filmed Sarah. That's how we got introduced to Sarah R. Adams. So they were all at this conference. This is pre-me. I was not part of this. Okay. Terry Joyce has been targeting you because of your knowledge of Isaac Cappy's death. Isaac took a film of the Roman bath under the Getty. That was his dead man switch that no COINTEL is linking to Epstein. Bringing Terry Joyce down is a really big deal. Your link to Isaac maybe ends completely. Stephen's words. Okay, so I actually emailed Stephen today, and I'm waiting to get his response, because I know that we broke things off, and maybe he's resentful of some of my coverage about him on Not My Rabbit Hole and his involvement with the 17th letter of the alphabet. Because let's just also mention, if you were to look at my Rumble stream that I did, a couple nights ago, I do go into Laura Dilley's research paper a little bit, and I definitely make some connections to the 17th letter of the alphabet. And one of the things that I do mention in that stream is the 17th letter of the alphabet mind map, of which Stephen associated himself with this movement, had a Facebook group for it, the first one that ever happened, and became the center of the 17th letter of the alphabet mind map. Okay, so part of my separation from Stephen is this. And Stephen and I had a conversation back then. I said, I don't believe that the 17th letter is real. And he says, well, it doesn't matter. We're controlling the narrative. So he just hopped onto this movement to spin this other story about what was happening with the Getty. I've never seen Stephen offer any real evidence. I've seen him use images of children in cages, and he would say 100,000 children are trafficked underneath the Getty. That was what he was saying. And I guess one of the arguments might have even been Craig. I always want to call him Craig Shoemaker, but the one that the guy that David's always accusing of being part of us. Anyways, he was a big child trafficker catcher, and he said, how could there be 100? How do you come up with that number? How do you even come up with that count? And then Stephen would tell me, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's just obviously at least 100,000 probably have been trafficked underneath there. I just say it. Doesn't matter, right? No, everybody sat there on these channels, Revolution Radio. We called ourselves the Truth Media. But people really didn't tell the truth, did they, guys? Anyway, so it goes on. So let's just keep going here. It was November 12th when I first went on a public stage to tell you about what is under the Getty. Since then, I've done several events and shared the stage with the biggest names in our movement. At least 2 events, I had to deal with the dark guys. The most famous of these was the infamous Henderson, Nevada Super Soldier event. Now, Stephen has inserted himself into this narrative, but in our talking, he has no recollection of anything of this happening. He says if it did happen, he was whatever, mind controlled or whatever. But Okay, so here we go. Out of the blue, I was hustled off to be the surprise main speaker, which I did not know at the time. Carrie Cassidy was there, who's also promoted 17th letter of the alphabet. You know, there's a reason why the QAnon shaman calls himself a starseed and a shaman. And who else does that but David Schroeder and Sarah Rachel Adams? They also, Sarah, special ET stuff. You know, David associated with Michael Aquino, you know, special power, special shamanic abilities, trained to do these special things. Ugh. Okay, anyway. Saturday night, all of us were supposedly rounded up by soldiers from Area 51, led by James Casbolt and Max Spears. Later, we learned that the whole operation was controlled by Michael Aquino. First of all, Stephen really would never have. I find this hard to believe that Stephen wrote this because Stephen pretty much didn't like Max and, you know, or James or any of these guys. So to, you know, make it sound like something was speared by them would, well, Stephen's narcissism would never allow that. I'm just saying, you got to know Stephen. Okay. According to all involved, I was the last one to be brought down to the hotel basement to be put in a van and programmed like the others. They say that when I saw the van that I said, no fucking way, and began to struggle with the men carrying me. Supposedly at this point, I was put in a chokehold and passed out. Now, I have heard him say that was what they said. The part of this that makes it all sound real to me is that they say, when I came to, I was very embarrassed. We were stuck in the chairs and fucked with. They put us back to bed, and I went home thinking nothing happened, but something did happen. Several of the others had their room doors broken and had to pay for the damage. I decided not to come armed because it was a casino and seemed like a bad idea. I had others in my room. They were not taken. The whole story came out and nobody would tell me anything. When I asked one of the others, they seemed shocked that I could not remember and were reluctant to say anything. So yeah, this whole event, there's been, you know, there's probably still out there. I don't know. There used to be footage of you know, there was a broken door and Miles Johnston was talking to this guy and they were looking at it and they were all, I mean, this is like not a new story. But what does this have to do with me, really? Or David? Or, you know, how is this a bad thing for me? Really? Right? I wasn't even there. I didn't even know Stephen. I knew none of these people. This is like 2012. I didn't come on to Revolution Radio until 2014. Okay? I gotta keep saying K. That's a verbal tick. I need to stop. Sorry about that. The video from my lecture where I told the super soldiers that if you want to be a Jedi, start acting like a Jedi has vanished. Something else happened. 6 people from the event are now dead. All right, so let me just go over the Jedi stuff. Jedi talk came later for Stephen as well. He did videos about being a psychic soldier Jedi, ran, you know, talked about people that he told people that he was like he was, you know, he had an altar in the 7th dimension above Jesus Christ. And this is how crazy this is. Above Jesus, he's above Jesus Christ. And he was able to, he was getting people like in their dream state saying, when you dream, you are part of going in the astral plane and fighting the Nazi pedos down underneath the Getty. All right. And then get this. In Okay's Weird Stories, that documentary about super soldiers, they're at the conference and there was a Jedi training or a Jedi lecture, psychic Jedi lecture. I swear that had to be Stephen that didn't show up because he was the only person talking about this. But there's a slight overlap with, I think that was actually Stephen that didn't make the event because Stephen lives with a woman who basically pays everything. He hasn't worked in years. He didn't even have a bank account. When he gets PayPal donations, those PayPals are going into his son's bank account that has the same name as his. That's what was going on back then. And this woman paid everything for him, and she was very controlling of him. I seriously doubt that she let him, loosen the leash for him to be able to go. Probably. That's my guess, that she didn't even, because she was standing in the way of him going to conferences before, unless he took her. And he didn't want to have that. He wants to appear that he's single, that he doesn't have any associations. He told me that, they had this arrangement. I bought it for a really long time, but I just don't believe it. I think, they were together, and she felt that he was that way, and he was being dishonest, and I was being stupid. All right. And I did it again. All right. I'm just letting you, I'm being honest. I'm being honest about what I think happened. So here it is. We're bringing in this Jedi crap, right? The video from the lecture, I told the super soldiers that if you want to be a Jedi, start acting like a Jedi, has vanished. Something else happened. 6 people from the event are now dead. I don't think 6, maybe. I mean, we did lose also James Rink. If you want to throw him in there, that it was some sort of conspiracy death, fine. But I don't buy it. I was in event security and a bodyguard for the event manager. During the event, I had to deal with the problems for her. Others that were there had problems with me. All of these people that I have problems with, except Casbolt, are dead. Casbolt lost his billionaire wife and child and went to jail. I guess this was more painful than death. Max died in Poland. Former White Hat died in Tijuana Hotel. That's, former White Hat. Michael Hemmingson. Michael Hemmingson. All right, that's a whole nother story. But some people say he's still alive, just like David Schroeder says that Michael Aquino's still alive. The others, who cares? The big one that died a little later was the big asshole himself, Michael Aquino. This came shortly after I publicly told him that he would be seeing me in the astral. Oh, yeah, okay, so now he's responsible for Aquino's death. He thought he was a tough fucking wizard, but here I am. Where is he? So it all goes back to my handler when I was a child, Michael Aquino. Now this is bad writing, by the way, David, because now you're posting something that apparently Stephen D. Kelly wrote. Stephen's words. And by the way, this whole dead man switch has been proven and debunked. It was a Turkish amusement park that footage came from. So the whole thing about that being a dead man switch and it was underneath the Getty is utter bullshit. All right. And so I did it again. All right. All right now. So here we go here. This is now, David, this should be in quotations as either you need to do something make this be in, the italics or whatever, but you coming in here and then all of a sudden being your commentary, it's hard to separate. Okay. Just a little advice on your blog work. Always believed one of the reasons Michael Aquino had Max Spears murder was because I had reached out to Max a week and a half before he ended up dead. Okay, so Michael Aquino, it's not proven Michael Aquino killed him. Okay, there's no proof of this, David. His death is a mystery. A lot of people think that it was drugs. I'm not, I have a problem with the fact that his computer was wiped and his cell phone was wiped, so that's highly suspicious for me. That's just my opinion about it. I think something wrong happened. If anybody in any of this whole entire group, if something wrong happened based on that evidence, I would say maybe it was Max Spears. We were planning on collaborating together after he returned from Poland, but it didn't make it back alive. The reason I reached out to Max was because Michael Aquino had been his handler as well. Not true. Not true, David. You want to know why? Because I interviewed Max. And I knew him a lot more than you did. And I never heard anything about, he never said on any of his interviews that, Michael Aquino was his handler. Now, right before he died, though, on Facebook, he made some posts about Michael Aquino, Oliver Stone, and Sean Stone. And I have in one of my videos, I do commentary on that. And I probably am one of the only people right now, that probably is the only place that you can find that actual receipt. Because I was in communication with him on Facebook days before he passed away. David Schurter. And it was Michael Aquino who had Isaac Cappy murdered, as Isaac had gotten a hold of poor numbers of Keno's and was harassing him via the phone. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I personally have serious doubts that Michael Aquino is really dead. He's hiding, controlling things from the shadows, like always. First of all, this whole thing is just nutty, really. And this is the reason why Terry Joyce and Stuart Tan are so focused on him, because of this. This is a very, very, very weak argument. And anybody who is grounded and has a sense of discernment would be able to read this and figure that out. It's ridiculous. Craig Sawyer, thank you. Thank you. I took one of my, because of the anxiety, I medicate with a cannabis tablet. And sometimes, and I realized that, I took it like way early this morning, but because I ate something before the show, I realized that it just kicked in and I was like, holy crap. Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much. Hi, Jesse. Thanks. It's nice to see you here today because it involves you, right? I mean, we're all this is affecting all of us. What they're doing and what they're saying is affecting a lot of people. So I'm going to take just a super, super quick, song break. It's kind of like cleansing the palate and going into the next phase of what I'm going to be talking about. But I'm going to show some footage. Speaking of Epstein, I'll play my Jane Doe song. I'm going to show some footage of that footage of the Getty. It's pretty fascinating. And I actually kind of want to do a little looking back on things so you guys can kind of see what was really happening back then. You can see this footage. You can see what happened for yourself, as well as a couple other things that I want to share.
I wish that I could know why you decided to show, why you didn't just go, why you still call her Jane Doe. She was 13, not yet 16, not even a tween. Her friends said it would be funny if she met Epstein. He got a gig for the weekend, said she could bring a friend, said he needed someone who looked young, a blonde and a wig. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with a friend, and her friend thought it was harmless, so she went with a friend. And her friends thought it was harmless, so she went with a friend. And they said they all met a nice man, and his name was Prince Andrew. And she thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her thought he was harmless, so she went with a friend. And Katie thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she met a girl named Katie Johnson, and she looked just like me. And they thought it was harmless, so they went with their friend. And I thought it was harmless, so I went with my friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was.
You know, I kind of think like that's probably how it happens too with Jeffrey Epstein, because there's other girls that recruit other girls into the, you know, into everything. So like, and you know, and the friend brought her and she thought it was harmless. I don't know. I think that's very, very poignant, really. Okay, so here's my Hollywood Hemtress Hour channel. I haven't really, this was dedicated for to other things. I started out with marijuana activism, and then I put like some stuff that that I had done when I was on Revolution Radio. And so I want to go to the Getty footage. Here's the live stream of Stephen D. Kelly at the Getty Museum 11 years ago. Okay, this is 11 years ago. This is before we were able to stream. I was on my cell phone, but I was using another platform called Ustream. It kind of you know, you can tell where my connection gets weak and the footage is pixelated and everything. But this is pre being able to live stream on any live, be able to live stream on any platforms other than this. You couldn't be on Facebook or Instagram.
Non può dire niente.
All right, that's James Robert Wright. He was a Freemason. I think it was like a 33 or 33 degree Mason whistleblower. He also had been on Carrie Cassidy's Project Camelot.
Basically, hold on. We want to look at the angle of this slope because this is indicative of a bunker. You know, obviously the slope is meant to deflect some heavy hits.
So he's mentioning that it's a bunker. All right. So this goes along with what I was talking about. This is the Getty was like a place for the elite to survive at once we have our doomsday event.
And again, this is a actually fire position up above.
There were no children being talked about at this time.
just a coincidence that they would have this kind of a slope here?
No, I don't think so.
There I am. I'm behind the camera.
All right, let's continue around.
And Steven is a chronic flip-flop wearer. In fact, I have memories of him wearing socks with his flip-flops. And basically, that's what he does. He hangs out in his house in his big chair, and goes to his computer and wears his socks with his flip-flops. Sorry, and takes bong hits all day. Okay, and that's pretty much Steven.
More than likely, they don't want us walking on the grass, but let's go right down.
More than likely.
Steel.
Well, it's amazing to think that this is like 3 years ago. And, I'm not going to, I don't want to, like, it gets pretty, like, it's kind of boring in parts, really.
Oops. He looked at us for a second.
Now, you'll know the NSA guys because they'll be wearing the white shirts, the ties.
Okay.
They won't look like cops.
Where's Mulder and Scully?
Oh, no, it's James Robert Wright is his name. It's not Robert James Wright. His name is James Robert Wright.
We're going to get a better view of the CIA compound.
We're going to get a better view of the CIA compound. So Steven is associating the Getty with the CIA. All right. There still no children are being trafficked here, right? Not yet. Because you think if they were, he'd be talking about it, but he's not. And there's a lot of walking going on. I'm going to skip up ahead a little bit more. Wait.
Be a nice place to toke at.
And we loved getting stoned back then. Okay, so here's like half of my face right here. There.
Farther, go behind you guys.
I'm going to talk some more. See, we were out there because Steve was like, we're going to film a documentary at the Getty. So, both James and I have our cameras out for this documentary that never happened.
Well, you can't see much, but over there is the compound that houses all the security personnel and the the animal compound.
There's a compound with the security personnel and an animal compound. No children. No children. You see that?
That's all off-site. And of course, that's accessible from a road from the other side.
Well, apparently it's okay with the drought at this waterfall.
Apparently, huh?
Yeah. One's good.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's not an issue, huh?
Nope.
Honestly, it was a good view, but there's some sort of noteworthy symbol going on.
Okay. Let's go a little bit farther. At some point, I don't know if I'll get on it, but he realizes that I'm filming him and that I'm streaming. Okay. And we go into here, and then there's footage here.
Those little steps over there kind of interesting.
And we walk more, and we walk more. And we walk more. And we walk some more. And then we walk more.
Is there a hot dog stand?
Now we're getting hungry.
A little bit.
I'm a little bit hungry too.
And we
Sell hot dogs here.
and we overpaid our food there.
Well, there was some kind of little crapo truck pavilion thing up on that
Taco stand.
taco stand. Actually looked good.
I know, huh?
Where's those Hollywood taco stands when you didn't need one?
His book was all based about his life, how he was in the gun business, how he was an ex-CIA, NSA contractor. He brings Men in Black in his book. I read his book. I interviewed him about his book before we started dating. All right. So it's all about this. It has nothing to do with children underneath the Getty at that time. None. Zero. That was created by Stephen 2 or 3 years later from this, because this is 2014. He came up with that like around 2017, 2018, same time Isaac came out. That's when he started. No stories, no nothing. It started then.
Well, that's the little cafeteria right there.
And that's pretty much it. But there's something else I want to share as well that is kind of fun. Because we were just first starting to date during that footage. You can tell I'm super enamored with him. But there's the Superman and Grapes video. Now, this guy was one of those people on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that made a living, or of being Superman on the street. A lot of people did that back then, and Superman took a liking to me that day. And there's a documentary about this guy, and he has since passed away. This guy is a story within himself, but here's all of us here.
I'm actually live streaming this right now too. Hey guys, should we admit what we're doing? Is that
Get a picture
is
of
that
Superman
bad?
feeding you grapes.
We're eating grapes.
Superman feeding you grapes.
Okay, here. Oh.
You got a grape on your hair.
How about
Grapes and weed, the best.
feed
thing
Steve some
in the
grapes?
world.
Oh shit! Oh, I dropped it on the. Oh.
She's not getting it on
Damn it! I dropped 3.
You still got one right on your shoulder.
Oh, I have one on my shoulder.
film. I grab from the top.
I get that one to James. James was great. James
Here,
gets
try
grapes.
some of these. Here,
Really good.
try some of these.
Mm.
You've never had green grapes that taste like that, huh? No, it's so sweet. The reason for that is because these are the grapes from Napa Valley.
Okay, and then let me go to this one's kind of interesting too.
Like this. Hi, this is Siri Joyce on Chicken McJoyce, and we're Superman today. Are you Superman?
Oh, I'm quite super.
Yeah? And so, what brought you to the feast festival?
All this great Italian food.
Really? Yes. How much of a meatball could Superman eat?
I can eat all of it.
All of it. Because why? Because you're Superman, right?
I'm Superman and I love meatballs with the tomato sauce on it.
Superman, are you Italian? No. What do you do?
But I'm from Krypton. But I'll tell you this. If I was born on this planet, I would be definitely Italian.
Yes. And you heard it straight from Superman, because, he feeds the world.
I do.
Yeah.
One meatball at a time.
One meatball. So the camera here. You want to talk in that camera for a second, too?
Of course.
So I'm with Superman at the feast. I always wanted to meet Superman.
Well, now you did.
I did. Superman in Hollywood.
Came to Hollywood and she's getting hit on by Superman.
Oh my God! Yes.
What time are we going out?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyway, just strikes me as funny. Okay, she's getting hit on by Superman. Right. No, we were never looking for children being trafficked that day, Jesse. That was never a part of the narrative at all. All right, so let's look. I heard David streamed, and I'm going to go to David, and then I'm going to go to Denise because I got a comment to make about Denise. Let's find David here. And listen, I'm assuming I haven't listened to it yet, really, but I'm assuming that he was talking about his blog he put up that I just read, because the blog went up before his stream, is how I think it went down. So an hour ago, he did this. Let's see. Let's see what happened here.
This is my live. So if you click on the link in the description, that was sent to me yesterday, and I'm not surprised. In the end, everything boils down to Michael Aquino and his associates. Everything. Tara Joyce being so involved with Max Spears was always a big red flag to me, because I always believed that they took out Max Spears when they did.
There was his computer again, the laptop that apparently he doesn't own.
Because I had reached out to Max a week and a half before. I had found out that he was a victim of Michael Aquino, and Michael Aquino was his handler, and so I reached out to him. And we didn't really get to talk much because he was getting ready to go to Poland, and when he got back, we were going to end up collaborating more, and obviously that never happened. Because a week and a half later, he never got out of Poland. And I think that Michael Aquino did not want Max Spears and I collaborating. In fact,
it's all about you, David. Like you didn't even know Max, really. And what David has done is he's used Max as part of his reason to get donations, making claims that he's psycho pumping with him on the other side. It's ridiculous.
Much sure.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I can't stand. There's several David Schurters out there that want to, talk about how they channeled Max and all this other crap on the internet, and David is just one of them himself.
So,
and you know what? Max was Sarah R. Adams' boyfriend. Like, this is just so close to everything, of deceit going on here with this group. I called you guys a group, didn't I? That's right.
Isaac Cappy and Sewertown and the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. I know.
Okay, let's bring Sewertown into it. Like, all of these, like, associations, slippery slope logical fallacies that have nothing to do with each other. The same kind of thing that we'll probably see Denise doing in the footage that I'm going to share. Same thing, same trick, same stuff, same pattern, same lies, goes on and on and on.
That Isaac Cappy was taken out because he was harassing Michael Aquino on the phone. Somehow or other, he had gotten
like what? Like, now there's this whole Isaac Cappy, Michael Aquino story. No evidence, no nothing. Just him waving his hands, trying to convince people that this is true. Oh, and then probably Thomas Schoenberg is going to share it on his timeline and talk about how much he backs David Schurter's evidence because it's his own made-up stories.
Michael Aquino's phone numbers. And
you know what, Stephen, I hope you really get back to me on my email and my phone call to you this morning and verify whether or not you're telling people that I'm COINTELPRO with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, I am a journalist. I do need to fact check this, right?
Was harassing him on the phone. The very last conversation I had with Isaac, where Isaac and I got into a fight over it, that was what he told me, was that he was harassing Aquino over the phone. And I brought up Max and asked Isaac, what could he possibly be thinking? That was the whole thing of, I asked him if he believed.
David, it's really convenient to talk about people that have already passed away because they're not alive to say, that didn't happen. How convenient for you.
Jesus Christ. And he said Jesus Christ was just like Buddha and all of that. And that's why I walked away from Isaac, was that conversation. And so it's Michael Aquino. So the whole situation, someone in the comments of one of my videos.
So he walked away from Isaac. There was a conflict before he died. Is that what you're saying, David? But now you're working with him on the other side, like with Virginia Giuffre.
Said that Gabe Hoffman was mentioned in the Epstein files. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, I have not.
Yeah, it probably isn't, David. But you're going to throw it out there anyways because you want it to be that way. And you want people to think that that's what's happening.
3 million. I'm just saying that someone left a comment in the comments saying that that was the case. But I would bet my bottom dollar that Michael Aquino was involved. That Michael Aquino and his...
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Associates were heavily involved with Jeffrey Epstein. I think that is pretty much the case. And the people that I'm after, again, if people want this investigated, they really should look at who ended up dead. That's who everyone needs to focus on. And that's already happening. Because people are emailing me and
hold on, there's a plane going on. Come on, the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Hold of me.
When I think of a day that's gray and lonely.
And telling me the kind of
I just think
stuff
of
that I
my
was told
chin.
yesterday all the time. This group has an army of people who can't stand them. Who can't stand them. Now they're sending me texts on my phone. But that's okay, because it'll go away.
All right, so let's go a little farther. I don't have time for all of this, really, truly.
And I'm not angry because they are going to puff out their chests and sing their little brouhahas.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. It's only a day away. Because the cat.
Delusional. They're delusional. What I was sent yesterday showed me that there is more being investigated with Isaac Cappy and all of that stuff than even I didn't know any of the stuff that I was sent. People are looking into this hard now. And I knew they were. They just needed someone to come along and stir things up a bit. That's all I did, was come and stir things up a bit.
Ugh. He thinks he's so, all he did was, stir things up and lie about people.
To see if it jogs, but we're also talking 50 fucking years ago.
Ugh. Okay, enough. All right, enough of him. But let's see what, Oh, here it is. What is this title? David Schroeder live. So in the end, it was always Michael Aquino and the merry band of warlock witches. Oh my God. And there we go. A reason why Terry Joyce and Seward Town are so focused on me. And there's the link that I just read. Ugh. All right. I do not want to look at him anymore. So we'll be right back. We're going to talk about Denise. Let us do this. Let us talk about Denise. Yeah.
It's a hashtag feud. The tension brews. Opinions clash like unstoppable views. A digital brink where patience shatters with each post and each fiery scatter. Just retweets, clashes and echoes of grins. They say that the pen is mightier than the sword. Well, mine's a keyboard. So go to war if that's what makes you feel alive. I'll take it personally, but won't take it offline. It's like a drug, it's poison in my mind. My thumb is the trigger, and I've got you in my sights. And if it's all part of God's plan, I'd like to have a word with him. I'm not a fan, so take me to war. I hope it makes you feel alive. I'll take it personally, but won't take it offline. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place
That's the sweetest bed. When I lay me down to die, I'm going up to the Twinkie in the, going on up to the Twinkie in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. I die. I'm gonna bite the snack that I love best. Prepare yourself, you know it's a must. Gotta have a Twinkie if you wanna trust. Just say, Lordy, I'm so spread. Gonna meet the Twinkie in the sky. Never been a sinner. I've got a sweet tooth. I got a.
Okay, so I'm going to stop this right here. I know that's rather abrupt there for a second, but let's get to Denise, on this. So if you look at Denise, the title is one of the lawsuits against Terry Joyce. I guess they call it, hasn't been set yet because this isn't really a lawsuit. And David, I mean, the wording of this is even incorrect. What this is Patrick struck me for showing some footage of Blazing Scars and where he was going off on Jesse Davis. And because of the fact, instead of putting his camera, he was using one of his artwork pieces of a little cat was in the thumbnail in a panel show. And instead of putting his camera on, he chose to have the thumbnail represent him. And the clip that I had was fair use because I was doing commentary on that particular rant that he did. And immediately before it even processed, he struck me on it based on the fact that he has his artwork and it is copyrighted. And he fabricated saying it was the whole entire thing and this and that. I did a counter notice, which at that point it was accepted by YouTube, and YouTube took the strike off, and YouTube said, unless he shows that he's taking, action, like with legal action, which, going to the Copyright Claims Board is technically legal action, but it's not a lawsuit. And if he went or filed with the DCMA or something like this, right? So Patrick, right before the deadline of the 10 days or the 10-day grace period that YouTube gives the other person to make that decision, he went ahead and filed a claim. And so now we are going to go to a hearing between he and I representing ourselves, that I will prove that because I believe it was fair use. And I don't think YouTube would have accepted it if it wasn't that, but he's right in his counterclaim. He's saying I lied and this and that. And he's also saying things like, he has 5 privacy strikes against me. And you can see it. I mean, once I click onto the video, you won't see it, but you can see if you were to screenshot the thumbnail and then read it, you would see where he is accusing me of giving him 5 privacy strikes, which is not true. He doesn't add any links. And what's interesting about it is that he doesn't even give the footage of them talking because, quite frankly, there's something that he says in the actual footage clip that he, basically threats Jesse Davis that I will continue to do blank, blank, blank and drain your resources, which is really kind of like maybe what he's doing to me. So I'm sure he probably doesn't want the Copy Claims Board to hear that part. They don't want him to hear the dialogue of it. Because if you go to the case itself, you see his, which I think they're weak, his receipts of what his claim is about, because the video itself, he's altered it basically, and the video itself, it still is, I believe, on Blazing Scars channel. But before I leave, I'm going to play, because I still have the audio version of it without showing his graphic. And I'm going to play exactly what was said during that little spiel. All right. So, but anyways, let's listen to how Denise spins the story, because these guys are just story spinners, right?
Used to be a stand-up comedian. I think she still does occasional gigs. Well, hello, welcome. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. why ever you're here.
Welcome back to Not My Rabbit Hole, Denise, because it's been a while. You've gone off on me for, I don't know, the last few months, and I haven't said shit about you on my channel, but today's the day. Because when you start saying that I have one of the lawsuits, I have no lawsuits against me, then that's pretty much defamation. And the things that Denise says in this video is defamation.
Thank you for showing up. Yeah, it seems like Terry Joyce, a scam artist out of Fresno, California, used to be a stand-up comedian. I think she still does occasionally.
I am still a stand-up comedian, and you just doxed the place I live at. You want to make sure people know where I live, right, Denise? Because it keeps coming out of your mouth almost every time you do a video.
Gigs, if she can find them.
Gigs, if I can find them.
Adult.
What do you know what I do and what I say, or what my gigs are? Denise, adult. Well, there's not children that go into a comedy club that drink alcohol. It's just, we don't do children shows, Denise. It's all adult.
Stands up and talks dirty to a crowd.
Oh, I talk dirty to a crowd. Okay.
She's got lots of videos of her past performances out.
I sure do.
I looked at one or two of them.
I'm sure you have. Psycho. Cyber Stalker.
There was one that I wondered if the audience was going to sue the restaurateur. It was one of these dinner theater type of places where you go and eat.
No. Well, all comedy clubs serve food, Denise. Wasn't a dinner theater. It was a comedy club.
Well, the comedian grosses you out with disgusting graphic descriptions of genital activities. I mean, I can't...
Probably something you haven't done in a long time.
Imagine, first of all, she does advertise herself as being into pornographic humor, adult humor.
No, that is not how... I do not advertise myself as doing pornographic material, Denise. That is incorrect.
She doesn't like it when you use the word pornographic, but it's the same thing, and we all know that.
No, it's not.
And the guy who ran the restaurant, I wonder how closely he looked at the list of available comedians before he booked her. What was he thinking about this being a dinner venue?
It wasn't a dinner venue. It was a comedy club. And, there are comedians there that said worse things than I said. Denise. Wow. All right.
I mean, even a nightclub with drinks.
The people were laughing in that video, right? Didn't sound like they were offended, did they?
Maybe. But anyway. That's California. There's no.
Oh, now there's a problem with California. All right.
What goes on there?
Same kind of comics perform in Corpus Christi, Texas. Matter of fact, I've been there before, performing on stage. Denise.
So she's been repeatedly making videos, making the absolutely false claim that her former employer, or possibly still present employer, Fresno City College. And she's also...
Thank you, Denise. Thank you. Thank you for saying where my employment was. No, I'm not thanking you.
Other people were involved who were not. Other institutions that she...
Let's let this... Wow, it's like the airplane thing.
...worked at or been a student at, but mainly the fact is about close to 3 years ago, when she had first started trying to extort services and benefits from me, not actual.
When did that happen, Denise? When did I try to extort money from you? First of all, you don't have any money, so even if somebody was going to extort somebody, you're not the biggest choice to have
cash. But face it, when you are using somebody's content or trying to force them to cooperate with your media career, it's about money. It's extortion. And the law, it was changed because it was in the 1980s. That
same line that Davis was telling me that I was doing with Tahinder Gill with Sarah R. Adams, right? Same narrative, same lies that come out of Thomas Schoenberger. Does he email you too, Denise? I bet he does. I bet he emails you a lot, doesn't he?
I faced a situation in which the police told me if this individual, it was not a YouTube situation, it was a real life situation. If this individual asks for so much as a single dollar, please let them know, because that's all they needed to charge this person with serious extortion. It was somebody in my family that was abusing my child, and I had to get protection in place. And then that person was making other claims, exercising other rights, you might say, and demanding things from me. And the police could not call it extortion at that time because the extortion law stated that it.
Come on. Sorry, Orlando. Sorry. Oh my God.
It was about money to bring charges. Since then, that was the 1980s. Since then, most states have rewritten those laws so that they include
hogwash.
And encouraging her to speak about me without her having had contact with me, Randolph, was because of an actual extortion ring. And ironically, my first actual conversation with her, she had clips of one of my videos in her channel. Ironically, I had contacted her to warn her that whoever was doing this was providing that clip and encouraging her.
This is not what happened. Okay, Denise contacted me because she wanted me to, she was giving me a bunch of stuff. I was curious. The clip, you know what the clip was? It was me. It was Denise talking about the Daily Beast article that mentions Thomas Schoenberger and DeFango and Shadowbox. And that's what I was curious about. And I was asking her what she contacted me after I showed that clip. I showed her not exact because of Shadowbox. I did it because of the fact that she was talking about Lee Veltman, and I was having issues with Lee Veltman. And so, and that video was given to me by Patrick. Remember Patrick? I didn't even know who Denise was until he gave me that video. Nasty Troll Media gave me the video of Denise. He knew Denise, not me. And I looked at it, and, she was talking about Lee Veltman. And because I was gathering evidence of other women talking about Lee Veltman, like Tamara Wolf and this and that, I was doing stuff about it. She found this video, and we started having dialogue between each other, which at this point, she started sending me all this predator catcher stuff about also Steve Hassan. I didn't know who Steve Hassan was, the cult expert psychiatrist that's in all the different, movies as an expert on how cults operate. And, she was going on about Winter Moon and Clovis. That's how we all know each other. That's how I know Jesse. That was the night when everyone, that's when Blazing Scar showed up in my chat for the first time. So no, this is not accurate, but all these players are still around me right now. They're still Blazing's, she goes off on me, right? I mean, go look at her channel and see how many videos she has with my name in it, accusing me of things that aren't true or making racist insults about me.
To speak about me without her having had contact with me, that person was not anyone representing me. Now, at that time, she was lying in her public presentation by claiming that the video was given to her by a woman named Tamara, who was using the name Tamara Wolf.
Tamara Wolf never gave me the video. Patrick, she left on my phone. I played it. I did a video about it, and I happened to mention that Patrick gave me Denise's video, at which point Denise automatically started accusing me of blackmailing and extorting him. Automatically. For no reason. Just out of the blue. Just because I mentioned his name. So why would that happen, guys? Just curious. Why would me just even mention Patrick's name have to brand me as blackmailing, extorting him? Was he in the background the whole time and he was never supposed to be mentioned or something? Like, what was that all about? Is my question, Denise.
Another who was a real demonstrably criminal member of that extortion ring, who had originally contacted me to demand that
Denise contacted me through Twitter, and I've already shown the receipt of that. So I want to skip it because again, I'm in a hurry. I want to get to the part where she starts talking about the legality of stuff. So let me take a look at the transcript here. And let me see here where because I can't listen to all of this today. We don't have time. Sorry. I thought this came up earlier in the conversation. Okay, she talks about the vigilante show, fake resume, going to college, background. Okay, she says she talks about fake resume by going to college and paying for credentials, that if you don't look beyond the credential at the person, you don't realize this is a completely unprofessional scam artist. So she's discrediting my education, I guess. And then Tamara Wolf, some person named Zacharino. Okay, so here we go. Here's where it gets you need to hear this. It gets pretty nasty right in here.
famous sheriff out there, Sheriff Judd out there in Florida, he put up a display of this guy being arrested. Anyway, another one was arrested for distribution and possession, rather, of child porn. A third one was arrested for actually making, videotaping child porn. One of the people that cooperated in that video that Teresa Joyce made, she made an interview with me where I actually allowed her to interview me, was not...
This has nothing, like this FBI, none of this has anything to do with anything with us. Nothing.
About Tamara Wolf is that she is a voice actress.
No, she's not a voice actress, but she did do voiceover work for one of his cartoons that Patrick showed me when I met him for dinner that one night, where he was like wanting to hire me to do voiceover work and show me this cartoon that he was going to send to like Sony or different companies. He wanted me to do an NDA with him and do this work and not talk about it. But you know, now there's no NDA, and obviously there's no this. I don't even think Nasty Troll Media. How is Nasty Troll Media going to be a show this was like, how many years have gone by now? I mean, come on, really?
She's a professional voice actress. She does voiceovers. Copy of...
Okay, so he's not suing me, Denise. That's not a lawsuit, Denise. That is a copyright tribunal, like a hearing between he and I that either one of us can opt out of at any point. You can't do that in a lawsuit, Denise. This is a YouTube copyright dispute that I'm going to show up because I don't want a strike back on my channel. It's not there right now because we are in like this litigation, basically. It's a YouTube copyright claim, Denise. I want the video back up. I want to win this. but you're painting it as if it's something else, something more serious, something more guilty. I'm more guilty of something else.
Part of his lawsuit that's on my thumbnail. Well, it turns out that he was also talking to Randolph about doing voiceover work.
That's right.
So he's talking to these two different females who are part of the same extortion ring.
Oh, wow. I'm part of an extortion ring with Tamara Wolf now? How did that happen?
And somehow or other, Terry Joyce asks him about me.
No, I didn't ask about you, Denise. He told me about you. He was the one who told me about you, Denise.
So he says, oh yeah, I've heard of her, and he sends her a link to my videos, and that's how she got the clip.
No, that's not how I got the clip. In fact, I have every single interaction between Patrick and I recorded, our DMs ready to go for anybody who wants to. Anytime I have to go to court, anything that has to happen, and I can prove that it was him that gave me her video.
Then she goes on to harass me, to make demands of me.
No.
And when I discovered how far into the dirty porn business she has been all her life.
No, I have not been in the dirty porn business all my life, Denise. This is a lie. This is defamation. This is Thomas Schoen. You're repeating Thomas Schoenberger defamation, Denise, right now. You called my job, Denise, to try to get me fired. You're divulging my private information, even today.
And part of the credentials that caused me not to really look that closely at her was that she's a tutor. She was a tutor at Fresno City College, a community college that has advanced placement high school kids. In other words,
you know what? There might be advanced placement high school kids, but I never tutored any of them. They were not part of the classes that I was tutoring anthropology. Never once did I tutor anybody that was in high school. They were all adults, and some of them were quite old, past 40, Denise.
Underage teenagers in its student body. And she was tutoring them.
Not that 40 is old.
And when I realized that she has a pattern, when I saw what she was doing to what she's doing to me, and I said, this woman has a pattern of vindictive, unhinged, crazy
You're talking about yourself, lady.
harassment of anyone.
You're the one who was written up with an incident with campus police. You're the one that's been sent to cease and desist for doing what you did. And you lie about that too as not happening. But it did. And Denise knows it did. Unless she's so delusional that she can't remember.
Doesn't go along with her plans to build some kind of adult content using innocent, I'm not saying I'm not an adult, but people who are not involved in that industry.
What, you think I was recruiting you for granny porn, Denise?
Trying to hide behind us or use us. And I said, and she's a tutor at that college.
I'm not hiding behind you, Denise. Trust me.
But what really got going was when she started making claims, because I wouldn't cooperate with her. She made the false claim, absolutely false claim, that I was facing a warrant.
I never said that. I never said that.
By her police department and sent to my police
How
department.
do you get a warrant if you haven't been charged with anything and skipped court? It doesn't happen.
She even claimed it had been served and was here.
No, I said you were served a cease and desist from the college. That's what I said.
Absolutely.
Because you were harassing my supervisor as well as me and the college, Denise. That's why you got a cease and desist.
Now, I didn't know if she had tried to do that and was exaggerating or what. I found out how absolutely false it was. My contact simply said, okay, you put out a video saying your police department's looking for me. I called up her police department, Fresno City Police, and I said, I hear you looking.
No. Oh, God, this is just so stupid. Ridiculous. I'm skimming through it again. She's going to go on about this. I can't. Okay, this cracks me up. Here we go. Let's go with this here for a second.
Whatever the full name of it is. It's not the Fresno City College, but the California University at Fresno, where she is helping them establish a department called Creative Nonfiction.
Okay, let me explain this. Creative nonfiction already exists. And it's already part of the creative the creative writing MFA. You can get an MFA in creative nonfiction, you can get an MFA in fiction, and you can get an MFA in poetry. So it's already established as a writing form. There are, creative essay, creative nonfiction books, chapbooks, essays, publications in magazines. You don't even know what I am not bringing some concept of false writing to Fresno State. I didn't come up with the term. I didn't coin the phrase creative nonfiction. It exists before I even got to know this particular style of writing, Denise. That's how ignorant you look right now.
Now, cruise on over to just any one of a dozen videos you can pull up about the networks around Epstein, the Hollywood networks.
Oh, now let's bring me in with Epstein, just like David, right?
And the fact that an entire industry of sexual blackmail has its base in Hollywood, and that Teresa Joyce Randolph,
again, saying my legal name, just like Thomas Schoenberger puts in his post where he, threatens to give my data out to people. Again, I do not use that name anywhere publicly, but you have to say it over and over and over and over again in this video because it's a tactic. It's what they do. They want to smear my legal name with these lies. That's exactly the intent behind there. The intent to call my job is to get me fired. It's to give falsehoods and defamation to people. I'm gonna tell you guys something. There are, you can be sued. I mean, is Denise worth suing? No, but Thomas Schoenberger will be. Ain't that right, Thomas? Ain't that right? And you know what, David? Sorry, dude, but I'm going to file a civil harassment suit of defamation of character in Harlan, Iowa. And if I have to go there myself and see you face to face in court, I'll find a way to do it, David.
is obviously one of the doing the activity they do.
This needs to happen. Unfortunately, we have to go into the court system now. And I've had it. And I mean what I say. I have rights too. I have a career too. I have a name. You will not take that away from me, guys.
So she's facing lawsuits from several people.
What? From who? Nobody subpoenaed me, Denise. There are no lawsuits. Threats of lawsuits, yeah, but it ain't happened yet. I dare Thomas Schoenberger to try to sue me. He'll walk away with his tail between his legs. considering the evidence I have of what he's done to me online. I'm sure the judge will take a look at the fact that he threatened to give out my private information to people. It's over for Thomas.
She's continuing to make extremely false, criminally false defamation of me.
No.
And
I
every
told the
time she
truth
does it,
about what you've done and what you've said, Denise, and I have receipts. All right. So here we go. Here we go with the more of the copy, intellectual property. Let's go here. Here we go.
she restarts the statute of limitations on defamation, which is approximately a year. But it's if you started defaming somebody 3 years ago and you're still doing it, well, then it keeps clicking over and over again.
That's right. You should listen to your own advice, Denise, because that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. That's what is it? When was this video made? February 24th. Oh my God, just 2 days ago.
Year has started every time she opens her mouth.
No, that's you.
So I'm not worried.
Oh, you should be. You should be worried. You guys should be worried. You're not worried. You're sitting there lying about me, talking about lawsuits that don't exist, and making this copyright claim sound like I'm guilty. You guys, Patrick's already out there, using this copyright claim, showing a portion of it, claiming that I have 5 privacy strikes that are false, is a form of defamation and harassment. So, if he wants to say that when we go to our hearing, I'll say that's what he did and show it and prove it. That he has used this as an opportunity to make a false copyright claim against me, to censor my free speech, and then run and have Denise and him run a defamation campaign that I'm some awful person and blah, 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 blah. That's exactly what's happening here. And it's disgusting. And if I have to point it out and say it in court, I'll do that, Patrick. I don't have a problem.
The criminal stuff, well, there's different levels on that. And that is certainly ongoing. Now, this lawsuit from his legal name instead of the channel name, because this isn't about his YouTube channel.
Oh, it isn't.
And he's already put all his documents out there.
The copyright claim has to do with his YouTube channel, so therefore it is about his YouTube channel.
I know that one of the other people suing her is preparing to put documents out, although I have to walk that back a bit. He has had papers served in the past week on 2 other individuals in the same network. I don't know.
Okay, so we must be talking about Thomas Schellenberger and his bogus lawsuit. This is all intimidation and just total utter bullshit. I'm really sick of it, really, to be honest. So, one last thing before we take a break. I see you guys are commenting there. I'm gonna post some of your comments up in the screen here in just a minute. So let's finish the song out.
Sponge cake, a creamy truth. So when I die, don't ask me why. I'm going G up to the Twinkie in the sky. Going on up to the Twinkie in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna snack on the Twinkie I love best. When I die and they lay me to rest. I'm gonna go to the place that's the sweetest best.
Yeah, Patrick plays games just like Chris McGimpy Jones. Yep, exactly. Just the same kind of stuff. But this time, I won that counter notice. And so now we're taking it to the next level. And you know what? I'm pretty sure I'm going to win it. I am confident that what I did was fair use. So let me go to my videos here and pull up that, what was actually really said. Like what did Patrick want people not to hear? What did Patrick admit from the footage that he sent, that he has sourced? I looked at it. I looked at what's there right now. No hearing, no nothing, but his receipt is he took the sound off of it, and I think the sound is I think it's really worth hearing. My God, this was like really way back here that I uploaded this. Let me where is this here? So when did this happen even? Oh my goodness, this is like, oh, here it is. No, cookie. Trollapalooza. Here it is. Trollapalooza 2. About a month ago. Like maybe 6 weeks. Let's listen to it. Oh, it's priceless. Hey, I'm going to play a song here for just a second. I just bleeped myself out by
right after I got.
All right, here we go. This is right after I got the strike. So I'm going to skip the music. Okay, here we go. About right here.
Take it offline.
All right, everybody. I am brewing another cup of coffee here today. And my cat loves it, so he's going to be howling. He's over there by the coffee maker in the kitchen. All right, so here's what happened. I replayed and did some commentary on the big blowout between Patrick from Nasty Troll Media and Jesse Davis. And Nasty Troll Media plays a role in my life, okay? And I'm not going to go into details because, when you hear the replay, you're going to get what's going on here. So basically, I am replaying the audio of what I streamed earlier this morning because Patrick gave me a bogus copyright strike. What he did is he was in the panel show. He was using an avatar, which is a little Siamese cat, which is trademarked by him. And instead of putting on his camera, he was using that. And so I have made a counterclaim. Here's one of the major arguments in this, in what he just did today. I said, okay, I am writing to contest recent copyright takedown of my YouTube video of a recorded panel discussion with commentary on the grounds that any use of a third party's thumbnail image as an avatar in a video is protected fair use under 17 USSC 107. The video in question was a StreamYard Zoom-style panel discussion, which I moderated, providing extensive commentary and critique throughout. One panelist appeared via a small avatar icon, an image derived from a copyrighted thumbnail, and this individual has issued a copyright strike claiming that the avatar's appearance in my video is infringing. For the reasons below, my use of that image is lawful, fair use, and not copyright infringement, and I respectfully request that YouTube restore the video. Background. On today, okay, I hosted a live panel discussion on my channel featuring several participants in a split screen video conference format. I acted as moderator and commentator analyzing and critiquing the viewpoints of the panelists in real time. The panelists who issued the takedown used a custom avatar image taken from a copyrighted thumbnail instead of a live camera. This avatar was visible on screen incidentally as part of the panel interface alongside other participants' avatars. Crucially, my focus was on commenting and criticizing the panelists' statements and persona, not on the creative expression of the avatar image itself. The avatar's appearance was merely a minor component of the overall discussion, which included my original commentary and debate among multiple people. The panel video was not monetized. That means the person who was doing the video. Though my channel is monetized generally, and it is not available anywhere else. It was published purely for the informational and analytical purposes to document and criticize the panel discussion. Okay? So, and then it goes on. I mean, I could have included more, and I gave a link and, and a source of how that is like actually fair use. But because of the fact that Nasty Troll Media, Patrick, has so desired not for what happened to be heard on my channel, that he's willing to do a bogus copyright strike that now I have given a counter notification for, which, by the way, they review it. If they see that it's substantial, they will give him 10 days to rescind. And if he doesn't do it in 10 days, then they restore my video back to me. That's how YouTube works. So he wants to delay this information and my commentary on what it was. And so I am going to be playing the audio version of this stream. And I'm going to let it play, and I'm going to let it play out.
Hey, fat boy, how you doing, you pear-shaped beat white beater? Fuck you, but dude, I can walk through you like you're a cotton candy, motherfucker. You're a Weezer, dude. One kick to the gut, you'd be puking your fucking guts out. You fucking wool wife beating piece of shit. You fucking toothless hag. You are a fucking low life. You put your wife's underwear on the internet. Fuck you. You're going to come up here and bully women. Fuck you. I can walk through you like you are fucking paper.
You better ask your mama about that, bitch.
My mom's dead, motherfucker.
Do I care? Fuck you.
I don't care for shit. You're a lying sack of crap. You have been fucking instigating this shit for so many fucking years because you're an effeminate bitch.
I never spoke to you, you fucking idiot.
Fucking liar. I got it on recording, motherfucker. And then I sent you a decent email and you doxed it because you're an effeminate piece of shit. That's who the fuck you are, rattle boy. Pear-shaped fucking weeble.
You claimed you were going to sue my wife for stealing your cartoon.
That's a fucking lie. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking piece of shit. Liar. No, she's just a hack. She can't even fucking animate. She's a fucking hack. You're a fucking loser. You attack women on the internet. You're a fucking piece of shit. I would walk through you like you were fucking tissue paper. You thought I was a small boy? I'm 6'1", motherfucker. I'd walk through you.
You think?
Yeah, you're a fucking weeble. You're pear-shaped. You got a wide bottom. You've got a small little top. You tip over like a fucking punching bag.
You're Thomas's little bitch. You know where I live. Come get you some, you fucking pussy.
Oh, there it is. Thomas.
That's a fucking manufactured lie, you piece of shit. He's been decent to me. I have no fucking issue with the man. You motherfucker, you're a stalking, effeminate piece of shit.
Look, I said come get you some.
You're a stalking, effeminate piece of shit.
Come get you some, you keyboard warrior, big mouth piece of shit.
No,
Come
you're
get
the keyboard
I'm
warrior.
active duty, motherfucker. You go to federal prison. You stupid motherfucker.
Come get me, fuck boy.
Fuck, dude, I can walk.
Come get you some. I tell you all
You're
that.
the keyboard warrior over there.
Nobody.
You can come over
Hey,
here and abuse me. Like
you
you
all
probably
know
do
where the
on
fuck
your
I'm
kids.
at. And ain't a single.
Let's go back. Let's go back. I'm gonna play it again. Good morning, everybody. This is Patrick. This is Nasty Tool Media. This is a guy that has been tracking me since 2018 in December. Oh, we're gonna get into it today. He early in the show, like I'm not gonna play what he says about me because it's his cover up for what he's. Anyway, you get the point. I'm gonna go a little bit farther because there's one thing that he says that I believe I do play here.
I've never put a video up of my daughter as an adult, ever. Everything that was put up there was the stuff that Thomas Schoenberger's
You were showing
Let
the
me
string where she got a.
Now there's Liz Moldovan because this was after they came onto the show and ambushed it over some hoax stuff because they and everything. So yeah, here we go.
Let me finish. Let me finish. When she got attacked.
Let me say this. She was friends with hoax then. That's how quick everything changes. What's up? Okay, so last night Sewertown was doing a stream recapping things that happened from the stream before. And what happened is basically this woman named Liz, who is like from Australia, and Top Feed Coco, and who else was there? It was but mainly them came in and ambushed the stream. We were watching, we were listening to videos and things like that go back to 2024. And so they ambushed the stream and Liz was in the chat. She's like, I want to come on. I don't have much time. Can you let me up? So she kind of interrupted the flow. Well, she did interrupt the flow. And she went off about a guy named Adam Camacho who has a channel on YouTube. And I believe he's a documentary filmmaker or he's a filmmaker and he was doing a documentary with Owen Benjamin, the comedian that has the bear compound going on. And there was some sort of falling out. I'm not really totally up on this, but I have looked into it. I mean, so I go on about that. And I guess like I'm not gonna find that one spot where he says it, but he does say something like, "I will, exhaust you, or I will make it so that I will." Mainly them resources came in, and maybe it's here.
Bullshit lying, y'all know that.
Or a little bit before that.
Because you're an effeminate piece of shit. That's who the fuck you are. Rattle boy. Handshake. Fucker, you're stalking.
Let's go back. Okay, yeah. I don't think I play it there. Huh. All right, but anyways, he does say it. But I'm kind of running out of time right now. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. That was a pretty crazy thing. And so anyway, I just wanted to come in and make commentary on what took place today with the two double D's. And I kind of want to, let me see. I will welcome Mr. My Words. Not the Mad Cow, no. So he plays games like Chris McGimpy Jones for copyright. Yeah, it's a little trick that they like to do, which is really they're really abusing YouTube, their guidelines. They really are. That's what Tommy Boy has said many times also about his LOL lawsuits. Yeah, Denise has no money. Nobody wants her money. Nobody extorts people that don't have any money. Right? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Sometimes they email each other over and over until they finally email together and have a smoke. Sony Cartoon, gotta wonder. That's Aiken. Hi, Aiken. You're one of the bad patterns. Yeah. He will drain me of all of my money in legal fees. That's right. That's what he said. He will drain all of your money in legal fees. So, you know, it's kind of like, well, what is Patrick doing to me right now? Draining. I mean, it's not going to cost me anything to defend myself in this hearing, but if I wanted to hire a lawyer, I've thought about it. You know, that's money. That's money. You know, this is money, time. My time to even have to deal with this is money because it's taking me away from making money. He said he would sue me over and over again. Yep. He threatened a lawsuit over and over again. So that's basically, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. I mean, we could go to like Blazensguard's channel and pick it up, but I think I have like a clip of that. I just didn't show it here on, I have that footage for court. So, I mean, the hearing, the tribunal that's going on. But yeah, it's what these guys do. It's their operandus, Operation Modi or operandus Modi. To do these things to people. It's a Thomas Schoenberger tactic. It's like out of the troll playbook, the gang stalking playbook. I mean, it is a gang, and they have been cyber stalking. I mean, let's be real here. It's just a really big clown show. And thank you very much, though, you guys, for being here. We're all in this together in a weird way, right? The pain of it all and sharing, thank you for being here. Matter of fact, let me give you a little applause for that. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it means a lot to see you guys in the chat and to see your comments. And, on that note, I will play us out here. Thanks for tuning in. I got to go back to do some schoolwork. Believe it or not, I have to finish 100 pages in the next couple of hours of reading.
Look who just rewrote the entire playbook. Hello, you beautiful chaos architect, you walking psychological phenomenon. You living proof that the hunted can become the hunter without firing a single shot. Hello to the one who just executed the most elegant reversal in modern warfare. And I'm not talking about bullets or bombs. I'm talking about something far more devastating. Something that will be studied in rooms you'll never see by people who will never understand. You just pulled off the greatest psychological reversal in history. And the best part? Most of them still don't even realize what hit them. They're sitting in their comfortable little bubbles right now, scrolling, refreshing, replaying, trying to decode what the actual hell just happened. Because something shifted, didn't it? Something in the air changed. The temperature dropped. The frequency altered. And now everyone in your orbit is moving differently, talking differently, looking at you like you just appeared out of thin air, wearing a crown made of their worst nightmares.
He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laugh Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Falling fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit